Hello,
Checking
good
it too.
morning. Welcome into another episode of Good Morning Nasdaq right here on the Clover Trading YouTube channel. It is the 7th day of February, year of our Lord 2025. Hope you guys had a great week. We're going to wrap it up right here from our end. We're going to go and trade the final day of the week as well, wrapping up the first week of the month. We had a little shift in the market. We had some stabilization of the overall market, which usually means by Monday we should have a huge gap down to reset the whole process over again. But we've had some action in small cap land. We've had BBAI, huge volume breakout. We've had stuff running overnight, like IVVD or MGOL, which we'll talk about this morning. We've had a couple daily chart patterns set up. By no means am I willing to say it has been hot, but we got plays, and that's all you really need. If you can be patient enough to sit back and wait for plays to develop, for them to come to you, come into your wheelhouse, you only need 1 or 2 a week to really hit the goals that you guys have for yourselves. Bring in my co-host and friend, Mike Huddie. How we doing this morning?
We're good. We're ready to make some freaking money. It's Friday. We're feeling good.
It's
Sun's out.
Friday.
Yeah. Yeah. And the market's exciting, at least. Yesterday was actually a day that I actually sat here and watched things. Which is just something I haven't done in a long time. So
How'd that go for you?
I didn't do anything, but
Bored?
I watched it. For the most part, I was bored. For the most part, there's just things happening but they're just kind of cute. We have IVVD, super extended stock. We had What else was I watching yesterday? LTRY was, bamboozling shorts into close. That was fun to watch.
BBAI was holding all day and then
BBAI
gave it up.
was bamboozling everyone throughout the whole day with the chop fest. Uh, God, that looks so annoying.
Where's it at this morning?
Well, it's lower, or higher, depends how you look at it.
But what if I'm looking
Um,
at it just blindly?
then it's higher than yesterday, but
Okay.
lower than yesterday. So, there's a good heat in the market. There's multi-day runners. That's always kind of a good sign for us here in small cap. Uh, and today we have a couple gappers, and that's what we do here on the show. Tell them, Dom, about what we do here on the show.
Yeah, we talk about the biggest gappers in small cap land. For the most part, a lot of the big trading that Kyle does, that I do, that Huddy dabbles in, is big daily chart patterns. But we know that you guys are really interested in these gappers and what's running out of the gate. So we'd like to take a temperature of that market. We like to look at the news, what's moving these stocks, as well as if they have any potential dilution. Let me take a look at the daily charts and see if there's any big red flags or green flags on the stocks that are up today. And we do it all year, and we do it every single
Green
day the market is
flags,
open. Sometimes there's green flags, right? Big
checkered
breakouts,
flags.
charts with no resistance. There's flags. Um, but yeah, we have a good time doing it. We hope that you guys enjoyed as well. We hope that you get over in the live chat, talk to each other, talk to us, ask some questions. We do have time towards the end. We talk about whatever you guys are thinking about. And all that we ask for you is that you hit that thumbs up button, get the number up towards 50, and that you hit that subscribe button and see if we can't just keep making it go higher. That's really the only goal there. Couple housekeeping things. We have a boot camp coming up in person in March 22nd through
Some are calling
24th.
it a blowout.
Some are calling it a blowout in Los Angeles. If you've been thinking about doing this, we have only been really doing one a year recently, but we have a great time. You get 2 full days of education where speakers are giving presentations on topics of their expertise. You take some notes. You have breaks, lunches. You talk to a bunch of other aspiring traders. Hopefully build up your own personal Rolodex of mentors, mentees, and people that you might be helping and teaching. It's a great time, and we do some live trading. We answer your guys' question. You get to talk to us pretty much for 4 days straight, and roundtable discussions on the side, getting coffee, whatever it is. We have a great time doing it, and tickets are available, and we will also be doing a little raffle next Wednesday on Wine Wednesday. So mark your calendars for 7 p.m. Eastern next Wednesday. And check out our socials on how you can get yourself involved and put your name in the raffle. All right. Sounds good. Sounds great. Sounds amazing. Biggest gapper of the day is a little bit of a runner from yesterday, gapping up into today, and it is MGOL. Let's take a look. What do you say, MGO Global, advertising agency company with a 7.97 million float. And yesterday, since this is, we'll take a look at the chart in a minute, a stock that is gapping up on day 2 here. News yesterday was that they announced a Form F4 registration statement for proposed business combination has been declared effective by SEC. So very meh news in terms of big buzzwords and keywords triggering people. Just a little note from 2/1/25. So last week, cashless warrants reset after shareholder approval. Some warrants likely cashless exercised already. So let's talk about the dilution. They have 9.2 months of cash left. What's going on here, Huddie, our in-house specialist?
Yeah, I think this company is struggling to stay afloat. So kind of a good situation for me as a short seller. I think they're struggling on the cash side of things. Um, just looking through my notes here. They
Ton
have
of
some
warrants
dilution.
from zero.
Yeah. You see it from zero? Yeah, I mean they've done like 2 or 3 types of offerings in the past, or one offering in the past year. They have some ATM. You see some warrants. I see some warrants at 95 cents.
I see December 2024 warrants, 94 million of them at an exercise price of zero.
That's scary. Uh, and I have like I have a note from management. They're facing significant financial challenges, including a substantial net loss from continuing operations and decrease in revenues. They raised concerns about its ability to continue as a going concern due to ongoing operating losses and the need for additional capital, which could lead to potential default or obligations or reduction in operations. So, company's struggling. They have some dilution. I don't know. It's pretty high dilution rating. I think this goes on a big gap and crap type of watch for me. Doesn't mean it can't spike, but um, just doesn't seem like they're in a very good financial situation and they're gapping up 100% for some reason.
Yeah, 120% closed yesterday. They've kind of been bottomed out here in the 10-cent area. So when Huddy says they're struggling, not a ton of great companies are residing down at 10 cents. But they're up in the 40-cent area right now. So pretty big move over the past day and a half. Not a ton to work with on this daily chart in terms of big runs because the last 3 months has really just been a free fall from the $2 area down to 10 cents and just trying to figure that out. So you got to imagine on these type of charts, I don't even think too much about it from like you need huge volume days as resistance. But when these things fall off the face of the earth and break through support, you got to imagine that anyone who's involved here is underwater and there is just bag holders, which is why it's tough to be bullish on these type of stocks, which is why volume is super important. You know, it did almost 400 mil yesterday. Already done 200 mil in pre-market today. Pretty big there. And yeah, I kind of look at this $2 area. I mean, I don't expect this to go to $2. We'd have ourselves a Fifi situation there. So you're pretty much just looking at, and we did trade this in the past, or I do remember M Gold being a runner. I don't know if it was last year, but we have one big run followed by a ginormous gap and crap into that resistance. And then it's been pretty much fade since then. So you have all this resistance up in the 60 to 80 cent area from the past few months. Not on as much volume as we're doing right now, but it is there. What do you think about this daily chart, Steve?
Oh, I think this is a horrible situation for MGOL, or for retail. It might be a great situation for MGOL. I think it's horrible for retail that might be buying this, extended up 120%. There's a reason this one's in the 10-cent area. You are right; those 95 million shares are registered and priced, near that zero area. Whether they can convert all of them or not, that's kind of beyond my knowledge. But I do know that it is there; it's in the data. So, um, if they are going to be converting today, like I don't think this will go very far, but we'll see what they do. Maybe their intention is to get it up higher, bring some more liquidity in, and dilute as much as they can. Anything's really possible, but overall, this is like a bad share structure stock that's gapping up 120%. Not a whole ton of overhead resistance, albeit because it's been slaughtered recently. Um, but yeah, just not a good situation from my point of view.
Yeah, I tend to agree. It is a Friday, so we'll see if we get any fireworks in any of these this morning. But we are up a ton already here on M Goal, so we'll keep an eye on that one throughout the morning as well. How you guys doing in the live chat? You awake? We got Queen in here. 123 Drummer Max Baja Express P Daddy Slim, who wants M Goal to go nuts like Fifi to give us some runners. There's some runners out there. The best part about having even movers, even if you missed a lot of the action this week and you didn't trade BBAI, Fannie Mae has some news over the past day and that's setting up. I really just care that we have potential plays for the future. And when we have liquid stocks making moves, that brings about the whole life cycle of a penny stock. That's when we have the potential to short these things. Maybe something like a BBI holds up and we're buying a breakout on Monday or Tuesday next week. I want opportunity. It's, the days that are the toughest, I feel like, are when the watch list is bare and you got nothing on your third eye and you're just like, I know for a fact that I'm probably not taking a trade for the next 3 days. But when we have movement, that's the time to make your watch list, prioritize them, be really particular, set your levels, and be prepared. And right now we do have some charts, and that is a positive for me. All right, next biggest gap of the day, CYTH. Is that what you see?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Looks pretty real. Cyclotherapeutics, 21 million float, a drug manufacturer. 1 hour ago, they presented positive preliminary data from ongoing phase 3 transport NPC open label sub-study in patients that are less than 3 years old, in parentheses. So phase 3 data, that is preliminary, but towards the end of this cycle that biotechs go through to get their drug on the shelf. So that's interesting. So it's good news. They're running like your typical drug manufacturer here. Negative 1.4 months of cash, spending a ton of money to try to get this thing working. What else do we see in the offerings and warrants? Withdrawn an offering.
Yeah, so phase 3 is great and all for CYTH, but you guys don't have any money, so even if you had a product, like how are you going to bring it to market? I don't know. They also have kind of the big red flag for me is they've issued a convertible promissory note recently. Um, I think there's some convertibles that have been raised recently to account for this cash need. Look into it.
Yeah, this cash need is interesting. They're running a negative right now, and they probably want to change that. And take a look at the daily chart. Kind of got a big little breakout over the last few months' highs. Been a stock historically that has not really come onto our radar as small cap day traders. Not a lot of big volume days. Today is it's your one shining star moment for the volume on this stock over the past few years. You got some baked in resistance up near 2, just kind of across the board where the tops have all been set over the past year and a half. We got a little move, 80% up today from the 80-cent area up towards $1.50. Much different look than something like M Goal in terms of where this gap is starting from. But I think a similar situation that this company needs cash. They got the ability to do so. This is a bigger float, 21 million. So maybe a little bit slower of a mover there just in general. You got a stock breaking over $1. So anytime that happens, I feel like you have some built-in support at those key levels. What do you call them? Psychological levels. But yeah, this is just kind of like, I think, your average gapper right here. Bigger float than we're used to seeing on these small cap gappers. Pretty good news, but behind the scenes, they could use some cash.
Yeah, definitely could use some cash. They do have some warrants that are going to be in the money here when it opens up.
136.
Predominantly, huh?
Is it 136?
There's some at a buck 25. There's some at 95 cents. There's some at 71 cents. There's some unregistered at a buck 36. Or no, they're registered at a buck 36. So there's some that are unregistered and some that are registered, but they're all in this price range of where it's gapping up into. So they're potentially in play.
Okay. Yeah, not a ton extra to really go over here. It's not, we don't have a lot of history here to gauge it off of to make any blank statements like this is what this stock does when it gets a lot of volume and has a PR, because they just haven't done it a whole lot. And so we'll all be finding out together today on CYTH if it has the ability to be strong or not. There was a question in the live chat about CDT's dilution. Is it massively dilutive? And what do you think of the news? It's a recent reverse split. I think it's solely pumped news. What do you think? We can talk about that one quickly. It is the next biggest gapper, up right around 70% this morning. Let's see here. 1.9 million flow. Overall risk high across the board. 4 months of cash left.
Looks like they did an ATM yesterday. It's filed yesterday.
Transition to phase 2 of collaboration to support AI-driven drug development. So biotech talking about AI. What was the question? Are they massively dilutive? Answer the question, Huddie. Are they massively dilutive?
Yeah, they massively. I mean, I haven't really looked into them at all, but I'm just looking at their filings from yesterday, just like at a quick glance, and it does look like just yesterday they issued $8 million worth or on February 5th of an ATM, and they also issued $4 million worth on January 14th and on November 3rd. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. They got an ATM. So yeah, I mean they're dilutive. I don't know if they're massively, like I don't like consider them like a TNXP or CEI of the market, but they have some dilutive instruments and it's all kind of recent and fresh and they're gapping up. So guilty until proven innocent is kind of my way of thinking about it.
Yeah, take a look at the daily chart. You can definitely tell recent reverse split. This kind of, from the last talk we talked about to this one, daily chart wise, the last one having little to no history in terms of big volume days and what is this stock's behavior tends to be. Kind of opposite on CDT. You have a ton of days just in the last 100 days where the stock has popped up on some increased volume relative to the rest of the daily chart and failed quite hard, whether it's a big gap up, that's a big red candle, whether it's a wick to the sky, whether it's the last 30 days where the stock has faded from 16 to 2, reverse split adjusted. Yeah. And this morning, even, having run 100% to 4 and then being back down towards 2 right now, already just kind of showing that it's just not that strong of a stock, whether that's all because of dilution or not. I think the daily chart kind of tells the story on what's going on here. And just up about 70% right now, but kind of one of those charts where it's a low float, 1 point something million. They have news, but they have a terrible history, so it would be kind of against the trend for them to run big today. Any thoughts on the daily chart?
I haven't even looked at it, but I'm bearish on this situation. Yeah, we have a history. You have a violent history of gapping up and failing on this daily chart. So I don't know if that's what you already said. Um, Company is like broke and needs money. They have instruments to make money. Like I just feel like this is just gonna crap itself.
Yeah. Couple questions. We'll get out of here. Someone said, why would you swing? Why would one swing M goal overnight? Probably due to the fact that there was massive volume. It was holding up into the close, strong after hours. That's just a really too broad of a question. Why would one do anything? A lot of things happen in the market. You'd have been a happy camper if you did. Trade Floor says, love this market pace. Yeah, it's been quite nice. It's been quite easy to know where the opportunity is versus times when it could sometimes be, a little too much to look at during that really hot periods where maybe beginners struggle to lock down exactly where their focus should be. Dom, any interest in a bounce on TCTM? Not a ton of interest. It would have to do something a lot in terms of volume and price action to get me back interested, but volume requirement wise, this fit the first part, which is being up 300% plus 20 cents to $1.35, multiple red days, but the last few red days have been 3 million on a 50-cent stock. We're not a lot of interest there, and could bounce, but as we get further along in the fading process, I get less interested because the volume drops off, which means there's less interest there. And I really want first screen days reversals to be easy, obvious, notable. I want there to be maybe some shorts that need to get out into that first screen day, buyers that are interested enough to come back to the stock. And maybe it's TCTM, but it's not fitting all the criteria. All right, last question, then we'll get on out of here. Huddie, thoughts on LTRY?
I'm not really the best guy to ask. I don't really trade this as much anymore. Not as much as like Kyle trades this stuff all the time. Like, are we extended, from 50 cents to $1.70? Yes. Like, if this goes red, can I see, kind of a similar situation to IVVD yesterday where this closes at $1.30 and, it spikes to $1.90 in the morning and you find a way to like manipulate that range? Like, sure, that's possible. In my mind, it's hard for me to see this holding above 2. That doesn't mean it can't, but that's kind of like, I just don't think that this is going much higher today. I don't think it has a lot of good reason. It's kind of running out of forward-looking catalyst of them bringing in something that's going to start generating some good news for them. I mean, just to give you a blanket statement, like all these companies are trying to do. So that's kind of the press release that got us here. And now we're, from 30 cents to $1.70. So it makes sense that one of these days we're going to have a severe pullback, right? And then we're going to consolidate at the lows, and then we're probably going to drop lower. And we're going to start going through that process. So the question is it going to be today that we start falling apart, or do we have another day in us? And I think, I don't know, like day 2, probably lower odds that we sustain these prices going into day 2, but still have to manage risk and expect the unexpected because these things can be crazy, right? But I think the odds do favor this pulling back. It's just a matter of when. Like, is it going to happen at market open, or like IVVD started doing it at the close? So it's really just about what your strategy is and how you want to position yourself for that moment with respects to risk, like every setup, right?
Like every setup. Yeah, Wayne's in the room saying the likes is pathetic. Come on, peeps. Don't be angry, Wayne. It's okay. I'll ask for 2 more. I think we can get 2 more. But yeah, that's going to close out another week here on the Clover Trading YouTube channel. Some good Morning Nasdaq for you guys. Great audience, great question. Thank you guys for being here. We'll be back at it live Monday morning, 8:45 a.m. Use this weekend to get better, to study, to go through your stats, whatever you need to do to make sure that you're more prepared next week than you were this week. Believe it or not, we'll be back Monday. Huddie will be here. I will be here. So whatever we do this weekend, we'll be back at it Monday for a good time. Appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate the subscribes, the likes, your questions. I love starting my morning here. Don't you, Huddie?
The best place to start the morning.
Best
tell
place.
Your friends, tell your family.
Tell everyone you know to start spending their mornings here on the Clover Trading YouTube channel. Check out that bootcamp information, link in the description. Or if you're ever interested in 3 or 4 leaf clover, head on over to the website cloverchain.io. We'd be happy to be your educators. All right, everybody. We'll see you Monday morning, 8:45 a.m. right here on the Clover Trading YouTube channel.